I'm delighted to welcome 4 times world boxing champion Carl Froch to the channel. Thank you very much for this. I'll break off, shall I?
Yeah, go on.
Hope you guys enjoy this video with Carl Froch. Please like and please subscribe. Are you a bit of a snooker player?
I grew up in pubs from like the age of 14, 15. So
Right.
more pool.
Okay.
Pool, poker and scrapping. That's why. That's where I learned all my trades.
I like poker. Oh, you're a decent poker player, aren't you?
Yeah, I play quite a lot. I was in a big tournament the other day with some high rollers. I did all right. Didn't lose too much.
Do you play cash games?
I played. That's the first cash game I played in ages.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I sat down with $10,000.
Right.
And I was up and down, up and down. I left with $7.5 grand.
Your own money?
No. I'm an ambassador. I'm not stupid. Did you see how I earn my money? I don't give it away. I play a lot of tournament poker. So you sit down, you've got 100,000 chips that might cost you $200 or 150 quid, whatever.
Sure.
And then you can be in it for 20 minutes or 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
And it's strategy. I enjoy it. You get adrenaline when you're on a bluff and you're sitting there, whether you're on a live table or sat on your computer at home online. I still enjoy the buzz.
Yeah, so I love poker.
I'm looking at that pocket over there and seeing that I'm not blind, as if I'm going to be able to pot it. I don't know why I'm wasting my time.
I'm quite happy with the break off.
Really good break. You're out of order. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the game up and give you a chance to give me a 147.
147. Yeah. these guys filming know that that's never going to happen. They've watched all these YouTube things. You know. So you played a bit of pool in the pub, did you?
Yeah, loads. Was in a pub.
What age?
Was in a pub league from about 14, 15.
Okay.
Even though, because back then it wasn't that strict with pubs. You could play a bit and work behind the bar. Local pubs. My first pub was in Newark.
I was hoping that was going to drift in, but it didn't. It went straight.
Yeah. So playing pool, obviously then the progression is then to snooker, and there's a local club near me called the Top Spot, and there's 5 or 6 tables upstairs.
Right.
But as soon as you start playing snooker after you play pool, you realise you can't play snooker.
You played a bit with Michael Holt, haven't you? Because he's
I've
from
had
Nottingham.
a few games with Michael Holt, at his place in Arnold.
Right.
I think it's the Pegasus, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
No, he can play, can't he? He did a couple of century breaks when I played him.
Did he?
Yeah, a couple of centuries.
Yeah.
I'm just like.
He's a proper player. I shouldn't sound surprised if he watches this. He won't be happy with me saying, did he?
Yeah.
But he's a proper player. I think he's got his card. He's back on tour, I think. But very, very, very talented.
Yeah.
Just a bit maybe not as strong between the ears as
I think it's the mindset.
Yeah.
When you're on, he gets wound up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dints on his table where he smacks it.
So when you say you played pool about 14, 15, were you already boxing then?
Yes, I boxed from the age of 8, 9 years old.
Oh, okay. So if any hassle on the pool table, no problem. Nobody would like.
Well, I was only a kid. I got into a couple of scrapes. I've been throated a couple of times by some big men when they've had too much to drink. Like ran the throat.
You're talking to someone who's never been in a fight in his life. So
really?
all these expressions, I like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, throated. So I'm being choked up against the wall by someone twice my size. But
right.
That's just how it is sometimes. Yeah. It's alcohol and a bit of competitiveness. Yeah. I've always been a bit of a piss taker ever since I was a kid.
So what got you into boxing?
My old man took me down the local club.
Was he a boxer?
Yeah, he boxed out of Morton Hall Borstal.
Okay. Because my dad wasn't a snooker player.
Was he not?
No, his dad was, and I just got a small table for my Christmas, and that was it. But
really, I got one of them folding half tables, one of them ones with the wobbly legs and that.
It was one piece. The thing, the actual bed was one piece, but yeah, the legs folded up. Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing on here, is there? It's on its way, but it's missed.
Oh. So when you go in the boxing club for the first time, forgive my ignorance of all these questions because I'm a complete novice. But what's the first thing they teach you when you first step in a boxing club?
I suppose it depends which club you go into, because a lot of clubs, like if you're going to walk into the Winkerbank gym in Sheffield, Brendan Ingle was very much of a.
I've been there.
Yeah.
When Nassim was there, because he liked snooker as well.
Yeah, well, he was more of he was like a father figure to all the kids. So the first thing would be discipline and respect and straight on it, which you get anyway in a boxing club.
Right.
But teaching you technically wise for boxing, it's just basically standing upright.
So it's not punching's not the first thing.
Well, it's your basic balance.
Right.
So
Okay.
just stand with your feet together, step one forward. If you're right-handed, left foot forward, because that's your big right hand. Or if you're southpaw. Southpaw means you're left-handed. So you stand this way.
So you punch with your left hand.
So you punch. No, your big punch is your left hand.
Oh, your big punch, right?
Your
Okay.
jab's your lead hand.
Right.
And your bag hand, your big. So are you right-handed?
Yes.
So that's your big punch. So you're standing the right way now. Well, however powerful this one is, your left, this right will be bigger because you'll be able to naturally put your body behind it.
Right, okay.
So that's your big shot. But yeah, you'd be an orthodox fighter. There's not as many southpaws, there's not as many left-handed people. That's why if you're a southpaw, you're awkward and you think, oh, I'm fighting a southpaw.
Okay.
When it's box for England, if you're fighting a Russian southpaw,
oh really?
you know you're getting beat.
You don't get really? Is it that awkward?
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the southpaw. It is that, but because they're Russian as well.
So what is there?
Solid, hard. They've been amateur for years. Like I lost to a Russian world champion in the World Championships in 2001. And he was like 33 years old, Marine, like an army.
Lightweight. Right.
An army fighter.
Right.
And,
tough as nails.
Yeah, just hard, solid.
Right.
And they don't turn professional, a lot of them.
Really?
Stay in their country, and it's a bit communism. A lot of them will come out of communism, like Poland, for example, now.
Right.
If you're fighting someone from Azerbaijan or Poland or Ukraine, you know you're in trouble. Lomachenko's Ukrainian, so is Alexander Usyk. They're from Ukraine. And they're just tough, solid, hard, skillful fighters.
Has there ever been anyone there must have been someone that's like punches just as hard left and right? Or is that not a thing?
Well, even if you're right-handed, your left hook's still solid.
Right.
Your right hand's actually a big shot, and that's how you feel comfortable. Being right-handed, I have my left hand forward and trying to line this up. But if you're in close and you put your body and twist it around, you bring that left hook round. Yeah. That's just as powerful as the right hand. Right. A lot of fighters knock people out of that left hook or try and land that left hook. Right. Especially Mike Tyson. He was right-handed, but his left hook was a monster.
Would he be a hero of yours, Mike Tyson?
Give me a chance here.
I'm not.
Listen, I'm massive.
You don't know me at all.
I'm a massive admirer of Mike Tyson. Obviously, he was a fighting machine. He was just ferocious, awesome to watch.
I remember watching it. I think I read a book about him as well, and it's like, I don't know if you're like me. I mean, are you disappointed to see him fight this YouTube guy?
Jake Paul. I've been trying to get a fight with Jake Paul for ages.
Have you really?
I keep poking him. I keep giving him stick and winding him up. Hang on, it's my go, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought he was looking at the table then.
I do. I unconsciously just want to chop my cue all the time. It's weird, so weird. Even when someone else is playing, it's just a snooker player's thing.
That's got to be a habit, isn't it? It's like putting a gum shield in between rounds.
Well, you got plenty of room. The Browns have got spots. So you got to go up and down the table.
Yeah, that's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah. So just a middle of the cube.
Concentrate where the white's going. I'm going to miss the
middle
ball.
of the cue ball.
What would you do here then? Would you put right hand side on or anything on this? Or just let the natural ball?
I would put a slightest touch of right hand side just to make sure when it hits the cushion it doesn't go anywhere near the yellow, that it comes back in a straight line.
So if I put right hand side on this, is that going to change the line where the blue comes off the cue?
We're getting into advanced areas, but right hand side.
You haven't advanced, but
you'd probably this cloth is not going to allow for side a lot.
No.
So I wouldn't do it. If this was on a match cloth, I would say aim the blue thinner to allow for the side.
I hit it hard enough to get the pot then. Yeah. If I miss this, I'm going to look really stupid. It's a bit of a gimme, this, isn't it?
Listen, nothing's a gimme anymore for me. You're aiming down a little bit. I would have the cue a bit more level. Yes.
Oh, okay.
What happens when you aim down? The side is more exaggerated. Check.
Bit of advice. They didn't move, did it? I didn't give it any
a little bit. Just didn't hit it hard enough. It was a good shot.
Yeah, I didn't want to whack it because then it ends up. I'm just happy to get the 5 points there, to be honest. It's got to travel a long way.
Yeah. So are you serious? You would fight that guy, Jake Paul?
100%. I wouldn't come back and fight an active professional because I retired at nearly 37. I was nearly 37 when I retired. I retired for a reason.
Is he rubbish compared to you?
He can't fight.
Right.
He gets in the ring and he throws punches, but he's not a pro boxer. He lost to Tommy Fury. Put it in perspective.
Look at the respect I'm giving you. I'm playing safe and everything. Yeah, so
he lost to a guy called Tommy Fury, who's Tyson Fury's brother.
I watched that, just out of interest.
And no disrespect to Tommy Fury, but he's a novice pro. I'm being polite. He's like, he wouldn't win a British title.
I know nothing about boxing, but even I could tell it was.
So Jake Paul lost to him, and that tells you all you need to know. Even though I've been retired 10 years, it's like me playing you. If I played snooker every day and I took it serious and I really wanted to be a snooker player at the ripe old age of 47, I'd probably still never beat you.
No.
Even now.
No.
Because and you, with respect, would you be able to compete with the current champions now?
No.
No. And I wouldn't be able to compete with the current world champions because I'm not fit enough.
Yes.
And the training. I can't do the training. I couldn't do it 10 years ago, so I can't do it now.
Yeah.
But I'd fight Jake Paul because he's got a big gob. He's trying to fight Mike Tyson, which is disrespectful. He's can't stand
so do you think
I told him as well, he won't fight me because he won't risk it. But he should think to himself, hang on a minute, I'm 26 years old. I've had 3 or 4 pony fights. I'm trying to call myself he's calling out Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
Fight me.
Will he beat Tyson? No.
Probably.
Will he?
Yeah, Mike Tyson's old man. 58 years old time he gets in the ring.
But surely if Mike Tyson catches him.
Yeah, but you can't beat the clock. In a game like this you can play, but physical.
Oh, really?
He's 26 years old. He'll have a round. If he caught Jake Paul with a big shot, he'd probably iron him out.
Yeah.
But he's going to catch him, no.
Right, okay.
And actually, allegedly, the contracts are all stitched up anyway.
Okay.
So he's there to make the numbers up, Tyson. He's there to get beat and make Jake Paul look good. He's a commodity, Jake Paul. He knows how to make money. So you've got to give him respect for that.
Yeah.
But he's not a boxer. Useless. Which I keep reminding him. About, and you never know, if I keep poking the bear enough, he might just...
What does it come down to? The financial side of it, or
I think
the TV?
I think he just knows he'll get beat, and he don't want me to end the gravy train.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
You don't want to get battered, does he? By a guy who's been retired 10 years.
Well, look at that for a shot. I can't believe it by that shot.
What was you trying to do there?
Trying to swerve around to pot the pink, but it went very, very, very wrong. Very wrong. So you start at 14, 15. How long before you're a professional?
Well, I got back into it at 15. I started boxing when I was 8.
Right.
And I boxed till I was 15.
Okay.
Moved to a pub in Newark and then stopped boxing. The club was miles away. It was full of travellers.
Right.
Didn't enjoy it. It was a small gym and that. Got back into boxing because I was a Prince Nassim Hamed fan.
Right.
Watching him do a vault over the top rope, somersault, and knock people out with his low guard and his leery style, elusive style.
Yeah.
And I was just like fascinated by this guy from Sheffield. Thinking, he's brilliant. I love watching him. And I just thought, if he can do it, and any pro boxer can do it, why can't I do it? I'm sitting at work and in an office because I've done a business and finance course at college.
Right.
And I was just thinking, where's my life going? Like, I'm not earning enough money to ever do anything what I dreamed of doing or have what I want.
Right. Okay.
I thought, well, the only chance I've got really is to be a professional sportsman.
Right.
So I walked back down the gym.
Right.
Walked back down the Phoenix Amateur Boxing Club at 19 years old. But I jumped straight in sparring with the guys that were there, that were boxing for the club and fighting in the national championships. And I just found it really easy. I was just out-boxing them, out-pointing them.
Even you get punched in the nose?
Yeah, well, you keep...
The first time, I mean, you're 8 years old, the first time you get punched in the nose, you don't be like, oh my God, that's not for me.
You try not to get it. Well, if you're good, you're pretty good straight away. You've got good balance, you've got good reflexes.
You just learn to get over the pain, you just don't pay any attention to it. You just, because you can you? I suppose if you get punched once and you think about the pain, you're going to get punched straight away.
Once you're in that ring and the bell goes, it's like, it's fight or flight.
Right.
And the adrenaline takes over and the occasion takes over.
Yeah.
And it don't hurt.
Yeah.
If my 8-year-old daughter gives me a slap in the face or a punch in the stomach, which I ask her to do every now and again, I feel it. It hurts. I'm like, oh, that was a tough one. So you feel the pain, but if you're in the moment, and the adrenaline's filled, and you've done the training, and you know what you're getting in the ring for, you don't feel pain. Pain is weakness leaving the body.
I've got a very bad pain threshold.
In a sticky moment, if it comes on top,
you
won't feel pain.
Right. People always ask me what do I miss, if I miss anything about snooker, and I said I miss the big occasions, but I don't miss all the work, the practice and that. Would that be the same as you? You miss being the big occasion, but you don't miss all the training that goes into it?
I used to love the training until the very end, and I think that's why I was so good, because I trained really hard, never cut corners. I didn't really enjoy running, but I enjoyed seeing the results of the running, and here you go, I've set you up there. But no, I didn't mind the training right until towards the end, and the only reason I stopped enjoying the training was because of the injuries.
Right.
Like when you broke your hand or when your Achilles tendons, I can't straighten this arm. This arm can barely straighten. My hands are sore. I've had numerous cortisone injections in my elbows. And injuries in sport put so many talented people out of the game before they're able to achieve their goals and achieve their dreams. And I was lucky because I managed to win 4 world titles and get through my career, even with, I had 4 operations. I had 2 hand operations, I had an operation on my nose, I had an operation on my elbow, I mean, I had my knee reconstructed.
I mean, it's just
so I've had a lot of ops, but...
It's just the toughest sport ever, isn't it?
It is tough, it is a tough sport. There's a lot of other sports though, when you look, I mean...
It's not like this, you just walk around the
No, exactly. Well, that's why I've got my son playing, golf, because I said to him, look, you're moaning about shooting 10 over.
I've seen him on social media, he can swing it, right?
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah.
He can play. I said, but if you have a bad game of golf, you'll have a bad round and you'll be 5 over.
Yeah.
But a bad boxing match.
You're in the hospital.
You're in hospital, mate. Yeah, exactly. So as a father, it's my duty to protect you and look after you and love you and provide for you. So my advice would be to stick with golf and don't worry about boxing. So
why was he tempted to get into it?
He's been boxing since he was a kid. He's had a fight as well. He's had a skills bout, which he's really well in. But you don't get a decision in that. I thought he'd won. But he's fit, strong, he looks good. He's in the gym with me every day. Yeah. And he can punch. And he's got to. He's got a name like Rocco Froch. He's got to be able to throw a punch, hasn't he? Rocco, yeah. So, but he's a nice kid. He goes to a good school. He's posh, polite, he's nice. Right. I mean, I'd say posh. What I mean is he knows how to speak. He's quite a clever kid. He goes to a nice school.
Yeah.
But I don't want him
I
fighting.
was going to say he's not like me and you, but I don't want to bring you into it. I left school with no qualifications.
No, that's it. That's how it goes in our generation, isn't it? I mean, I went back to college to resit my English and maths. I did a business and finance course. Then I went to uni and did a sports science, HND, when I turned pro.
Right.
Because I've always wanted to be.
That's impressive.
I always knew I wanted to. I always knew I could have done better at school, but I moved to Newark. And sort of didn't pay attention at school because I didn't like it, because I changed in the last 2 years. You know, the important years when you're doing all your coursework. You're building up towards your exams. 15, 16. So I kind of blobbed it. Did all right. Got like average grades. C's and D's and the odd, I think I got 1 B.
Right.
And a couple of F's. It was all A, B, C, D, E, F. It's 1 to 10 now, isn't it?
I think
so. I resat my English and maths at Clarendon College, passed them, and then I did a business and finance course. And that set me up pretty well because that business acumen I've always had. I've been into property since I was 19 years old. So
did you have an agent, or were you your own agent? Were you clever enough to do, you could do your own stuff then?
I didn't have an agent.
Right.
Boxing. I've obviously had a promoter.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. That was a pull shot that went wrong.
So you know when you spar, do you hit as hard on that as you do in a fight? Have you got to hit it, because you've got to do it properly?
People say that about sparring. Obviously, sometimes
the table runs out.
Yeah, it's not your fault, was it?
Yeah.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
But you do. Everything's as serious as an actual.
Well, depending on who you're sparring. So if I'm sparring an amateur kid from the England squad, so I trained at the IS at the end of my career.
Right.
And Anthony Fowler, for example, who's a good fighter. He turned pro. He's a very good fighter.
Yeah.
I'd take my time with him. So I'd jab, move, he'd have a few shots, then I'd put a couple of big body shots in. But I wouldn't try and hit him heavy in the face really hard.
Okay.
Because I'm a world champion. Yeah. And he's sparring with me and helping me out. And he's still learning and developing.
Right.
ABA champion, national champion, fights for England, good fighter.
Right.
But it's professional boxing against an amateur. And it's different levels and little tricks.
Yeah, so you're not fully on it.
Yeah, so I'm a seasoned professional.
Yeah.
I'm strong.
Yeah.
And I'll lean on him and grab hold of him and hit him low, or hit him like under the body and push him back. And he'd be holding his breath, he'd be panicking, like me when I first turned pro.
Yeah.
Howard Eastman was like bullying me and beating me up around the ring. So that sort of sparring, when you know you're in with someone who's not really of your level, you take your time.
Yeah.
But when I used to spar Tony Bellew, for example, I was trying to knock him out. Because I knew he was trying to knock me out. And you start off with a jab and he's steady.
But he's surely much bigger than you.
He's bigger than me in the gym. He's 14 stone, I'm 12 stone. So he's a bully as well. I'm not giving him stick. I've said this to his face. He's a big, strong he can punch hard. And he's the only guy to ever drop me in sparring, Tony Bellew.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't mind. I got up, carried the spar on, give him as good as he got. And it was good. It was good for me to be involved in really difficult and hard and competitive spars before a big fight.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the sparring and you don't put the work in the sparring, you're not going to be ready for the fight. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't want to do the sparring.
Right.
There's fighters I could mention now that don't do the sparring.
Really?
That are world champions that then struggle and get beat.
Okay.
I won't chuck them under a bus.
No.
You've got to have that mindset. You've got to be always willing to sacrifice. How did that not drop?
Well, there was a wee bit. I was a wee bit lucky where I left the red. So what have you got a favourite one of your world titles?
2008. That was my first world title. So I'll always be proud. I'll never forget that. But
how many people were at that?
Probably about 8,000. I think the arena holds. The arena holds about. Well, it's supposed to hold about 6 or 7.
Right.
I think the wedge is about 18 because you let a few more on the floor and wedge a few more in the back.
How old were you?
I've had so many. I was 30. 2008. That was.
Right.
So I'd have been 30, getting on for 31. So I turned pro late. I didn't turn pro until I was 25.
Right.
But I've had that many big moments in boxing.
Yeah.
Like someone like Tony Bellew would say my best fight was against it was at Goodison Park against did he fight? I look stupid now. Macabre. So he fought Macabre for the WBC title. Goodison Park, which is his home. It's Everton Football. Is that Everton Football Club? Is it?
Yeah.
Not Liverpool, is it?
No.
Tony, I think Tony might be a Liverpool fan.
No, he's not.
Is he not?
You better not say that. I've heard him on the radio. Only because I've heard him on the radio.
I've said that to him a few times.
Oh, are you joking? Sorry.
I was baiting him. So he'll tell you that's his best fight and his favourite fight. Obviously, he's not going to say that getting knocked out by Usyk was his best fight. But I've had my first world title fight in Nottingham, at my hometown, against Pascal. My first defence was Jermaine Taylor. I climbed off the canvas in round 3 to stop him in the dying seconds.
Right.
I'll never forget that fight. That fight gets played now.
Was he American?
American, yeah.
So what's it
he
like?
He was the undisputed middleweight champ. Come up to super middleweight. He just beat Jeff Lacey, which was one of Joe Kawasaki's best wins. He just beat him. Yeah. And then he's got this skinny white kid, as he called me. But I just beat Pascal, so I had to believe in myself.
And is that the first time fight you fought away from home, or?
I've been away before, but not in an important fight. It was my first world title defence. So it was like welcome to the pros, welcome to the big boys.
Yeah.
And Jermaine Taylor jumped out this big Cadillac Escalade with a suit on, with his glasses, looking proper. And I was there in my cheap Lonsdale tracksuit. I was sponsored by Lonsdale. I was thinking, do I even belong here? Do I belong at this level? But the fight was awesome, and he dropped me in round 3. First time I've ever been on the floor in my whole life.
Really?
Dropped me in round 3.
What, I mean, you have to forget it, obviously, but what was it? Was it a shock to the system?
Yeah, it was like, right, now I've got to get up. And then it's just automatic then, what you do.
Yeah.
Do you fold? Do you quit? Do you not want to know it anymore? You think, I'm not good enough? Or do you say, hang on a minute, bite on my gum shoulder. You might put me down, but I'm still here, mate.
Yeah.
I ain't going to stop. I'm not going away that easy. And that's my mindset. So I fought on for the rest of the fight and left it until the dying seconds of the 12th round to stop him. Stopped him on his feet in the dying seconds of the 12th round. And that's the fight that keeps getting played loads now on social media because it was such a big moment. So for me, I defended my title in America. I kind of arrived. And Showtime TV then wanted me to go in this tournament, the Super 6. Yeah. It was a multi-million-dollar contract. It was like everything went on the back of that. Yeah. But I lost to Kessler, beat him in a rematch at the O2 in a sold-out 20,000 venue on pay-per-view on Sky. I'll never forget that night because I'd avenged the loss.
What was it? So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what's it like fighting at these huge venues when you started fighting in clubs, I suppose, or just a few people?
4,000 people. Well, no, sorry, 2,500 people. I was going to say 4,000 quid first fight. 2,500 people at the York Hall, Bethnal Green. It's a classic venue.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, East End. So that's like it's got so much heritage and culture. Like the Cray brothers fought there. Yeah, Ronnie and Reggie Cray.
Does it? But the more crowd, does that make you? To me, I always played best in the best atmospheres. Would a bigger crowd make you more?
Me too. When I was a kid, I always think, how does Nassim Ahmed walk out to 20,000, and how does he?
I know. I would say a couple of heads,
but when you get there and you're a pro boxer, you don't want 1,500 people there. You want big crowds because then you feel like, well, I'm getting paid. People want to see me fight. I'm obviously doing my job well. Yeah. So you get used to it. Yeah. You get used to it. To go from walking out to 1,500 people at Bethnal Green to walking out to, I don't know if you know, but there was 80,000 people at Wembley.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Was you one of them there?
No, I wasn't.
You were one of them, so you missed out.
I know. I must confess, I'm not a massive boxing aficionado.
What we were saying was to go from boxing in front of that to then the big number, which was probably waiting for, weren't you, for another punch?
Again, but because it's just a natural progression. George Grove's a Londoner, right?
George Grove's a Londoner.
So that was almost like an away match as well, then, wasn't it? Fighting
it was a little bit. It was a little bit, but I was the favourite, I suppose, because mind you saying that, I was the favourite in the first fight because I was in Manchester. Yeah. And I was the champ. Yeah. And he was the young kid coming through with a big gob on him and created all that hype. Yeah. That promotion was brilliant because he was a cheeky, obnoxious which I told him about. I mean, I'm his mate now, we're all right with each other. But he dropped me in round 1. Came out, I didn't train for the fight properly. Right. I was doing a dance show with my missus, thinking, I'm not training for this kid. He's like, as soon as I hit him on the chin, it's game over. I just beat Mikel Kessler. Right. Made a right few quid on pay-per-view on Sky in a big fight with at the O2. Yeah. And I was kind of 35 years old thinking, made my money, I've got a couple of kids now, I'm kind of taking a back seat now and I've got one eye on retiring. Yeah. And I couldn't really be asked to do the training properly. And when Eddie Hearn, my promoter, said to me, George Groves is mandatory for the IBF, I was like, no he isn't, can't be, he's not even in the top 5. But he'd manoeuvred it so Groves was mandatory. Right. And it was a good move because it was a domestic fight. Yeah. He got an unbeaten British champion, or I don't know if he was British champion at the time, but he won the British title, and it was on the rankings for all the governing bodies to be fighting for a world title. Right. And I was like, no, it's an easy fight. He's not even mandatory. But if I have to, I'll fight him. Right. It'll be a decent fight. While it lasts, as soon as I hit him on the chin, it'll be game over. And it was pay-per-view on Sky, so I thought, oh, okay. But
I watched that fight.
It was so cheeky on the build-up and sort of disrespectful to my achievements. But it's part of the game. I mean, he got inside my head. Fair play to him, he did his job good. But I didn't train properly, and I walked out round 1 thinking I can just go to the centre of the ring, hit him with a big right hand, and line him out. Yeah. Totally forgot that actually it's boxing, the art of pugilism, and you have to set it up with your jab, and you have to move your feet, and you have to move your head, and you have to concentrate. And then I got beat up for 6 rounds, like I've never been beat up in my life. I was battered. I can't remember anything because I was concussed from round 1. And I turned it around. Obviously, you've seen the fight. Do you think it was an early stoppage?
Oh, don't ask me about that. But
I know, that's a big question. It's a big debate.
Yeah, I can't remember that. I remember watching the fight though.
Well, the fight was stopped by Howard Foster in round 8 or 9, and most people said it was stopped too early. Right. I turned it around, I was getting back on top of him. The ref jumped in and stopped it. Right, okay. It was like, everyone was like, oh.
That's right.
Why has the ref stopped it? And I'm like, the ref stopped it because I was I mean, I had a free shot.
You beat Kessler and then you fought Groves and you expected to win easy. It's very similar to probably the last time I played properly at the Crucible.
Oh,
that was a good hit. You missed the paint. It was a good hit. I beat O'Sullivan in the semi-final. He was given a lot of sort of verbal before it, and that was the last time I played great at the Crucible. And I got Ebden in the final, and I thought, I can't lose.
Really?
And I lost him, and it must be like, not obviously to say, but a similar type of thing. But I was going to ask you, you watch boxing, and you watch all this stuff on the stage, and I like that, and on the weigh-ins and everything. How much is that put on to get tickets, to get money?
I've never put it on and never done it to get tickets or to get money, but it does happen because, and I think an example of it happening would be, again, I'll bring my mate Tony Bellew in. When he fought a really good friend of mine, one of my best mates from boxing, David Hay. So I've known him from the amateurs. He's London, I'm Nottingham, but we just became really good friends. We had similar boxing styles.
More sort of natural than textbook. More sort of like just natural fighters, or
more natural fighters, but inspired by people like Roy Jones Jr. and, like I said, Nassim Hamid earlier. So that kind of elusive style. So me and the Haymaker became friends pretty quick. I've known him for years, but when he fought Bellew, he knew that if he winds it up and hypes it up a bit, he knows how to sell the pay-per-view. Yeah. So he had a go, and then Tony Bellew started kicking the ring apron after his win. And David was out the ring, and the ring apron came, and David must be thinking to himself, "Yeah, this will be good for. I'll get involved. This is going to sell the fight a bit," and it did. It was a bit of pantomime,
right?
But they still wanted to get in there and leather each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Unfortunately for David Hay, he was well past his best, and he was injured twice when he fought him. Not taking anything away from Bellew. He was well past his best and injured when he fought Bellew, but he knew how to sell the pay-per-view.
Right, okay.
But most of the time, when people are giving it one on the stage, like when I was with Groves, I couldn't stand him. I hated him. And from years back, with all the heavyweights going on there and throwing punches, see how lunatic Mike Tyson was. Yeah. And some more people are a bit more composed, but they're still pissed off, they're still furious. You can see it's not often when it's set up.
Okay.
It's not often.
That's good, because
I've never been involved in the
set. As a layman, it looks like, this is all put on to sell tickets. Yeah,
it is with Jake Paul and the crossover stuff and the misfit stuff, but with professional boxing, it's serious business. Yeah. And these guys don't need to try and sell it because they're making money anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff with Mayweather and Conor McGregor, that was like all
big jokes.
Yeah.
Did the job, didn't it?
It was all right. So you say, George, you hated him, and now you're mates?
Yeah, because it took a long time. I was working for Sky straight after I retired. Right. George stayed professional for a few years, ended up winning the WBA world title. Right. So I got admiration for that. He stuck with it. He lost to a guy called Badujak a couple of fights after me, which he nearly won, but he lost another world title fight. And then he went for his third world title campaign. I thought, he's still going, he's still trying. And I was ringside commentating that night for Sky when he won. I was clapping, I was like, fair play to him. I wanted him to win because I felt for him. He fought me twice, close in the first one, got chinned in front of 80,000 at Wembley Stadium. Yeah.
Come back from that.
You knew that was, there was 80,000 there, didn't you? You want big number.
Big
number. He got chinned at Wembley by me and a big rival, and he had to go home to his wife and kids and take that on the chin. To come back from that. Yeah. After all his gob on the build-up, he got proper shut up, didn't he? Flattened, leg wrapped around his ear hole, on the floor. There's ways to go in there. That's not the way you want to go.
I'm just laughing at these guys that the beeps are going to have to put in this video.
Oh, really? But to come back from that and become a world champion. Yeah. Listen, I got respect for the guy because I've never been beat up so bad. He beat me up in that first fight. I still won the fight, fair and square. After round 6 and he emptied his tank on me. Yeah. I'm like, listen, mate, it's a 12-round fight, and you're fighting someone who's been in 10 world title fights. Yeah. I've been here before. You ain't been here before. Yeah. And I took him into deep water later on. Body shots, got him. Ref jumped in, stopped the fight. Okay, it might have been early, it might not have been. Depends which angle you was watching the fight from. Yeah. But we got the rematch, and I ironed him out. So, like I said, I've got respect for the guy because he went on to become world champion. And to answer your question, I was working for Sky one night. He'd retired, so it was like 7 years after I'd chinned him in front of all them people. And he walked into the production meeting before we go live on a boxing fight for Sky, because I was working for Sky and he'd been invited on as a guest. And he walked in, I thought, stitched up here. I'm looking at the guys on the thing thinking, they've invited Groves and not told me. So I sitting there thinking, my heart was beating. I was sitting there thinking, I've not seen him for years. And I went up after the meeting, I went over to him and I said, how you doing? He went, yeah, I'm all right. And I shook his hand, put my hand out, he shook my hand. I was like, as a family, got a couple of kids now. And we had a conversation. I said, congrats on your world title. Brilliant. Because I knew you was there. You was commentating. We got off on the right foot. And then we did a little meet and greet. You know, like you go on little tour where you meet people, they sit down, have a meal, we're on stage, we have a chat. And that brought us close together because I got to know him more. I can ring him up, ask him how I was getting on. He'll always be second place to the Cobra, won't he? Not in a malicious way. It is what it is, isn't it? Got ironed out, didn't it? Like this Pete's getting ironed out.
Oh. Do you enjoy the pundit stuff?
Yeah, I loved it. It got to a stage where I couldn't be as honest as I wanted to be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And as a warrior, I live by the code of the warrior, and honesty and integrity for me is massive.
Yeah, I mean, I bite my tongue sometimes. And sometimes you want to be more, but I don't know. It's in the beginning. I think I was more forthright in the beginning of my punditry because everyone sort of said, "Oh, you can't say, you know, you're a bit brutal there." But anyway,
Roy Keane gets away with it, doesn't he? Roy Keane gets away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I still do. I mean, I just say you say what you see. If it's you say it's, and if it's great, you say it's great. I mean, it's like, but as you probably know, you know, sports people, they don't like being criticised.
No,
they just like you to say they're brilliant all the time.
Yeah. So I was critical.
And I was the same.
I was critical of AJ. I was critical of Amir Khan when he's getting ironed out, stretchered. You know what I mean? Someone gets knocked out, you've got to say, well, it didn't go well, did it? I need to be honest and say, why did you get knocked out? What's the issue?
Absolutely.
And then when you're being told.
And the public don't want to see someone aren't they? Because they can see it. Yeah. So they want someone to say what they can see. No, that's what I think. Anyway, so now, because I want my voice. You got a YouTube channel.
I've got my YouTube channel. That came the growth of Froch on Fighting. Froch on Fighting, the best and biggest boxing YouTube channel in the business with the most views.
Right. Enjoy doing that.
Love it. Yeah. It's just I just find it natural.
Right.
I just set my mobile phone up, stick it on a tripod, and like I did the other day, and talk about Inoue, who boxed the Japanese kid.
So it's just you talking about.
I'll give a preview on a fight. I'll give a post-fight reaction, or I'll talk about certain things what happened in the game. Saudi Arabia, into boxing, in this country, and what it's doing to the sport, whether it's positive or negative, or the money that's involved, which is great for the fighters because they're getting paid.
Some Snooker's there just now,
which is brilliant. As we speak. There. Barry Owen's out there now trying to sort it out. I'll just be honest, and talk from a position of respect. People respect me because I'm a unified world champion, Hall of Famer, and people go, "Oh, if Froch is speaking, let's listen." Yeah. What's Froch ever done? Go and have a look at my fights. You see what I've done. Yeah. Defending my world title 10 times. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing in the game. So my opinion really should be listened to. Yeah. And it is. And it's respected. And I'm not critical or overcritical or controversial for the sake of being controversial. I just speak my truth.
You just give your opinion, yeah.
And that's what I've always ever wanted to do. And that's why I'm probably not so welcome on certain broadcasting channels. Right. Because I don't align with their agenda. Right. You know what I mean? Or their narrative. Yeah. Or their political agenda. Yeah. And then we're all going down a dangerous road. Oh, that's a great shot. You're going to see why in a minute. Ooh.
So, let's just say everything seems, all the big boxing to me, it seems like it's in Saudi Arabia, but Joshua's fighting in Wembley.
He's fighting Daniel Dubois next. September 21st, Wembley Stadium. They're pulling 96,000 fans apparently.
Who wins? I mean, is Joshua as good as who's the best heavyweight in the world? Is it Fury? Is it Joshua? Is it Usyk? Usyk. Yeah. And he's stepped up from cruiserweight. That's why he's such a good heavyweight, and you've got to respect him because he's made the transition from cruiser to heavy. Right. And beat the best of the top two in the world. Right. Beat AJ twice, not once. Yeah. And he battered him as well. Yeah. He made easy work of it. AJ had his rounds and he had his moments. I did watch that. But he got battered, and to do what he did to Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury had a good few rounds in mid-range, but you've got to be fit for 12 rounds. You've got to be able to do it for more than. And Usyk, when he has a bad round, he'll come back in the next round. Yeah. Sits in his corner, gathers his thoughts, kisses his cross, his crucifix. Yeah. Talks to his trainer, comes out the next round, and he's just focused. Mate, he's just a warrior. Yeah. And he's got that mindset of a champion. Say you're a world title fight. How many weeks or months do you have to prepare for one fight?
Ooh, hang on a minute.
That's a good shot.
It's all about the pot, isn't it? Don't worry about this.
Wow. I gave you a nice piece and quiet.
This is the problem with this length for the table. Like, how do you get to the point where? Mind you saying that, a lot of the top snooker players don't take on the long pots, do they?
No, they refuse a lot. I went for everything.
Take on the long pot. So that should have been a safety shot, shouldn't it?
Yeah, how long do you have to prepare for like a world title fight?
Oh, preparation for a world title fight, I was always...
Months?
Yeah,
weeks? Months?
12 weeks.
Right.
I'd have 2 weeks on my own in Nottingham, getting up in the morning, doing my runs.
What, away from home?
No, at home.
Oh, you still stay at home, yeah?
No, only for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I'd be either in London early on in my career, or I'd be in Sheffield at the EIS, the English Institute of Sport, because Ron McCracken was my professional coach throughout my whole career, and he got a job as the performance director, like the main guy, selecting the squad for Team GB for the Olympics. So I used to go up there in Sheffield and train up there. Right. It was good because I got to spar with some of the lads up there that were good talents. Just be away from home. It's good to be away from home, especially when you've got kids.
Would you go to many boxing matches to watch? Even if you're not working for TV, would you go just because you like boxing? Or I mean, you going to the AJ fight?
Well, I'm probably going to work the AJ fight.
Right.
Because now I've got my channel. I might go down there and then after.
Who do you think's going to? You're not allowed to tell me, because you want to keep it for your own channel.
No, not at all. Not at all. I've already made it public what my thoughts are on it, and it's the general consensus with AJ and Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a good fighter. He's only 26 years old. This is his biggest moment of his career. I mean, he's fought.
I'll move this out of the way.
He's fought Usyk. I was going to do a little swerve then. He's fought Usyk.
Right.
He got beat, but he dropped Usyk. Bit of a low blow, so he made a meal of it. Right. And then he stopped Dubois with a jab. And a lot of people say Dubois quit, but he's 26 years old. Right. Big, strong heavyweight, can punch hard.
So you think he's got a chance?
He's had a couple of good wins. He beat a guy called Hrgovic in his last fight, and that was a fight that he beat Gerald Miller, big baby Miller, a kid from America, quite a big lump coming forward. And then he's just beat Hrgovic. Hrgovic is a good Eastern European fighter who was unbeaten. I believe he was unbeaten. And Dubois beat him. And Dubois took loads of shots, but he still won the fight, and he looks okay doing it. So he's actually in better form than AJ. Right. Because AJ's beat a guy called Franklin, who's nobody. A guy called Hellenius.
I mean, if AJ loses, his career's over, surely, is it?
I think so, yeah. He beat a guy called Otto Varlin, and I don't know if you saw it, but he fought that UFC fighter, Francis Ngannou.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's had these 4 fights after getting beat up by Usyk twice, and he's not really been tested. Right. And I think that his head's not in the right space where he's confident to go back in against a genuine world champion. I'm not saying Dubois is a genuine world champion, but if Dubois gets in the ring and sets on him and puts it on him, he's like, no one's done that in his last 4 fights. Right, okay. Since losing to Usyk. And he quit against Ruiz, AJ did. Ruiz, remember the little fat kid from Mexico? Battered him, hit him upside his head, sent his legs all over the place, knocked him down 3 or 4 times. Then AJ's on his feet in the corner, standing up, and the ref's looking at him saying, come on, are we in the game or what? And what you say to the ref is, you say, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. Come on, let's go. Yeah. And AJ was like, oh, I've been dropped 3, 4 times. What's going on? Looking around like, he's all a bit confused and dazed. He didn't want it. Right. In my opinion, he didn't want it. Right. So he quit, he pulled himself out. The referee went, that'll do. End of the fight. Like, to come back from that, you've got to get back in the ring the next time, or at least the next 2 or 3 times, when, like, a fight or 2 after that, you've got to be showing people that actually you want this. You've got 100 million quid in the bank. Yeah. You just quit against Ruiz, and then he jumps in with Usyk. Usyk played with him twice, beat him up twice. 24 rounds, he probably won 2 or 3 rounds, AJ. So what's AJ done since then is fought 4 nobodies who didn't try. 4 people who have come to get a paycheck. And you can't even say Ngannou is a good fight. I know Ngannou gave Fury a good fight. Yeah. But Fury was ill-prepared for that, it must have been. AJ got in there and battered Ngannou. Yeah. Hit him with the first right hand, and Ngannou was out on his back. That gives you a false sense of security. Right. I think Dubois gets in with him and puts it on him, if he does, if he believes himself, Dubois, sticks it on him, you might see AJ in some serious trouble. Wow. I'm making AJ the favourite. Right. Just because he's been in more world title fights. Okay. He's been on the big occasion. He's boxed at Wembley 2 or 3 times in front of big crowds. Yeah. He's been at the Principality in Cardiff. When Dubois gets in that ring, I know he's going to look around and think... He's never fought in front of anything that size before. This is going to get to him. Now, he either embraces it, or he goes for it, or he crumbles. Most people crumble. Rabbit in the headlights kind of thing. And we'll find out. Qualifiers go to the Crucible, it's the same sort of thing. They're fine in their level, and they get to the Crucible, it's like, oh my God, I can't... Yeah. Well, there you go. So this is Dubois' moment to shine, or his moment to learn the hard way. But he'll be getting paid well. It's a big occasion. Yeah. He's got such a big opportunity. Yeah. But if he beats AJ, I think that's the end of AJ. This is AJ finish. So that we would never see AJ Fury then. That would be unless. Well, you know what? You can't. Well, I suppose money talks, does it? You never know. You took the words out of my mouth. You can never say never, especially because of the Saudi money. Yeah. and that the AJ Fury fight hasn't got the appeal if AJ loses, and if Fury loses again to Usyk, but it's still going to be one of them fights where it's AJ Fury.
Because everyone wants to know who would win.
It's a little bit like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. When it finally happened, it was 5 years too late, and Mayweather just kept out his way, and Pacquiao was injured, and it was a crap.
So back in the 90s, it was Ben Eubank, wasn't it? They were the ones when I was sort of.
Yeah, that was the big. That was the big sort of.
It was big grudges, yeah.
Eubank and Ben, it was awesome, wasn't it?
What I should know. What reality? You've done some reality TV, haven't you?
I did a dance show with my wife Rachel, Stepping Out. I did that. That was when I should have been training for the first Groves fight. I was doing that dance show.
Stepping Out. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
We've got Arisha and AJ from JLS, and remember Brian McFadden? Brian McFadden was was he in Westlife or was it?
Yeah, Westlife. Yeah,
he's good
golfer.
I didn't like the dance. No. The training for the dancing, it's choreography, it's remembering steps.
Right. So you could
it's just horrible.
No, I did the Masked Singer and that was the thing, was like learning the words for the songs. And that was the hardest thing. Oh, you flew to snooker.
Yeah, I did that dance show, and I also did talking about reality shows. I did really enjoyed it as well. It was called Tumble.
Would you do the jungle?
No.
No?
I wouldn't do the jungle because how did I miss that? Oh, what a shot! Giving them away now.
You don't fancy the jungle?
No, the jungle. I just feel like it takes your dignity away a little bit. I think it's. I know it's good if you want to be famous, and if you want to get a profile up there. But for me.
So what? £1 million wouldn't take you there?
Well, listen. Money changes everything. Money changes everything, doesn't it? Yeah. You have to look at it and say, realistically, would I go in the jungle because I want to go in there? The only thing that would get me in the jungle would be
is a huge offer.
No, my kids.
Okay.
Because my kids love watching it when the creeper crawlers are all over them and they're throwing up. And to be honest, I'm not interested in fame. I'm not interested in fame at all. I don't want to be famous. Right. And that sort of show on national television puts you right in the public eye and puts you in the spotlight. So I'm not really bothered about that. And I can think of better things to do to make money than eating kangaroos, looking like you're going to vomit and getting creepy crawlies in your ear holes. And, you know what I mean? It's not for me.
Can you walk around in Nottingham all right? Or everyone
Yeah, you know what? Since
look at that
that was a great shot. Little trick shot there for you from the, is it 7 or 6-time world champ?
7.
7, right?
Yeah, 7.
Well, you weren't one of the 80,000, was you? So I'm allowed to.
The biggest career that I played was 3,200 in Hong Kong. That was the biggest crowd. They played one 2 years ago. It was like, I think there was 8,000 people in there, which for snooker is like, because I mean, what sort of view have they got at the back? I mean, they always got big screens. That's what I always think of these boxing things in stadiums. I tell you what, because I went to watch Mike Tyson when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear.
Was you there for that?
I was there.
Ooh, awesome.
I was on holiday. I wasn't planning to go. And then there was like, I thought, should we just go? So we got into this of a ticket tout, which was the weirdest experience ever, because it was like, I had to go into this shop and this guy went, right, okay, come to the corner of the shop, and it was like $1,000 a ticket for like $200 seats or something. So I thought it would be decent seats. We were right up the very back.
Yeah, in the bleachers.
Couldn't see a thing.
No.
Couldn't see a thing. And then it all kicked off when he did what he did. And then I was like, myself, because it was like the crowds were just going mental. Not good. It was weird though, because we're talking about Nassim and Yuba have these massive entrances. Yeah. For that fight, there was nothing. No. They basically just walked in, which I was quite surprised at. That
was the one thing about Naz, wasn't it? The fact that he added a bit of razzmatazz to the game, didn't
he? He came to watch me at the Crucible. He sat in the front row of the press box with a bright silver puffer jacket. Mm. I mean, you couldn't miss him. The whole.
I think I can remember him wearing that coat.
He didn't shy away from the publicity.
Have you ever seen Naz? You ever seen Naz live?
No. Oh yeah, I see once. Yeah. I say, because I'm not a massive boxing, or know a lot about boxing. For me, the best part was the entrance. After that, he destroyed the guy. It was someone that he'd be easy, and it was like, go on, black ball game, go on. Try and put the black there onto that chalk with a bit of pace. I tell you what, did I tell you that? That's my fault.
Some terrible advice that was. I'm not being funny, but.
First, I think it's the best way of putting this.
If that goes in. No. I can't pop that though. I'm on that pocket, aren't I? Is that your pocket then now? I was going for that pocket. Remember, we picked a pocket. Yeah. That's your pocket now.
Oh, is it?
So if you don't get this, then this is for all the marbles. This is like the golden goal. Did you see his face change then?
I went for it.
I saw that.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thanks very much.
Tell you what, for the first time then, you went down.
I got a bit of focus, didn't I?
I like that.